So I want to make it very clear that I am fully aware that this could be one of the top 10 dumbest things I do in my entire life. I'm Amanda and you're watching Swell Entertainment. I want to make it clear this wasn't a spur-of-the-moment choice to pack up my little car and embark on a road trip into the desert. I started planning this about a week after the meme went around back in July. I figured at least one person was bound to show up and I wanted to be there when it happened. I got a $60 parking spot for Alienstock and two $51 tickets to Area 51 Basecamp, one for each day. Basecamp didn't start till the 20th, so I checked into my hotel in North Vegas and headed to Alamo to gas up one last time before heading to Rachel, the home of Little Alien. There are two gas stations in Alamo, neither of which were ever busier than this throughout the weekend. Not much was planned for day one of Alienstock, so I got to spend some time getting the lay of things and talking to some people. Only one guy made a comment about me coming back to his van. I politely declined.
But I mean, even right here, you can see the tower up there, like on the end of that. There's a little mountain on the other side of those mountains.
Yeah.
That's a huge watchtower they have, 2 radars there.
I saw the white trucks yesterday, but I think they took them all away today. I think
You saw the white trucks?
They're every night they go and they come back in the morning, but there's always someone
Well, I think they have sheriffs parked out in front who are taking photos with people.
But thank you earlier for the day for your demonstration of Naruto running.
Yeah.
And as I was saying at the time, you went like 18 feet, man. It's not sustainable.
It is sustainable.
It's a cartoon, man.
No, it's real.
a cartoon.
can
Nobody in
watch
Naruto
Yes,
runs in
it
real
is
life.
real.
Why are you yelling?
Because you're yelling.
There were people coming from all over the country and even a good amount of international attendees from Sweden, France, and Australia.
Amanda.
Amanda, Sydney.
Hi.
Hi. Where are you from?
I'm California.
California.
Yeah, you?
Sweden.
Oh, nice.
I think the vibe is it's like that this double slit experiment where they send the wave almost like a vibration through the 2 slits, but the observation is what changes it, right? So the observation, the digital capturing of the vibration is what harshens it.
There were very few consistencies throughout my time at Alienstock, but this guy was a consistent point of content. I saw him everywhere, and too much of him, but that's later. Met up with Elixir. His goal for the event was to become a meme. Mission accomplished. Good job, dude.
I'm here to find them aliens. I was here about a month ago practicing my Naruto running abilities. And I can even show you if you'd like.
Go for it.
Yeah. Okay, I have to put my bag down. I have to do a few excursions. Yeah, pretty much. I've been practicing Naruto running for a while now. And yeah, I have a pet Mr. Fishy. Give me a countdown.
Whenever you're ready, on your mark. Ready, set, go.
It'll dodge all the bullets.
I'm Premier.
This is Premier, one of the people who were performing at Alienstock. She got added to the lineup through Maddie Roberts originally.
And then he did this whole thing where he like stepped away from it.
Yeah, did he try and have you go with him when he left?
No, so basically he stepped away from it and my mom like contacted him. My mom was like, so are we still performing? Like what's happening? And then he was like, well, I'm gonna do this thing in Las Vegas. And then we were like, oh, well, we'll perform wherever it is, you know? And he was just like, okay, I'll try to see if you can get in it. And then he stopped contacting us. We contacted the Little Alien and they said that it's still happening.
Okay.
And you can be on the lineup.
Are you guys YouTubers?
No, we're actually filming.
From what I saw, that's who made up the bulk of Alienstock's attendance, at least day one. If you took away all the journalists, documentarians, and YouTubers like myself, there were maybe 100 people there at the time. Most people just wanted to go to the gates, the closest being right by Rachel. No one seemed to be seriously considering storming Area 51.
So are you guys planning on raiding Area 51?
No, nothing illegal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fight the U.S. military.
Smart.
Yeah, I used to be in the military. So
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna.
Okay. So as someone who was former military, what's your opinion on all of this and the talk of the raid? You love it?
I love the energy.
That's great.
I couldn't miss out on it. Yeah, my mom did Woodstock and she thinks you have to.
Oh, nice.
This
Yeah.
is your guys' Woodstock.
Yes.
I'm like,
which gate?
The front one.
Okay.
Maybe the back one.
Okay.
We talked to a dude from Fox and he went to the back one.
Hands on and you're ready to go, huh? So you can have fun.
More YouTubers and such showed up.
She's really good.
You gonna have fun tonight?
I was, and then all this fucking cameras showed up trying to
No, I'm just here.
videotape me having a good time.
I'm here so you will remember
And
what
I
you
even had
did.
to-
He's a Teletubby.
You're Poe. Poe the Teletubby.
Tinky Winky, la la.
Yeah.
Po.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's one in between, but I missed him. You're too young for that. Go back to Paw Patrol and.
How old are you again?
I don't know. Are you the girl on Dr. Phil?
No, she's not Catch Me Outside. She's not Danielle Bergoli.
Okay.
Hello.
Again, mostly media. The occasional person who decided to just smoke all their weed on day one. Spent most of the day talking to people because the event didn't kick off till 8 p.m. Many people had nothing good to say about Maddie Roberts.
You guys said you live in the area. Do you live in Rachel?
Vegas.
Vegas? Okay. That's awesome. You guys drive out here?
Yeah, we're not going to the little corn dog show down there. The government has forced him to go ahead and do.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why that's all happening, because the government's scared the living crap out of them.
Oh, really?
About all this, and so they tried to break it up any way, shape, or form they could. This county is suing him for $250,000 on top of everything else.
Well, I don't know how much they're suing him for, but they had to.
Really?
Because of all the Johns and all the police.
They had
and
to
all
spend.
all the expenses they
had
had
to spend
put together
a quarter
to
of a
get ready
million.
for this show.
Yeah.
It's not taking place.
Are we counting the bullshit rave in downtown Vegas tonight?
No.
No.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah, nobody should ever go to that.
No. If that guy would have posted, hey, come go to f***ing rave with me in downtown Las Vegas,
They don't have real aliens there. They're fake aliens.
I saw some real aliens over in the RV park.
I think what was interesting was the amount of people who saw this event as their moment. Not just the performers, but Elixir who wanted to be a meme.
I can't with this kid.
This dude who wanted to meet Mr. Beast and thought he'd be here.
He's coming.
He said he was coming.
To who?
He posted it.
When? Where?
Okay, so like, remember that video he
Yes.
put out like last month when he came here?
Yeah.
He said he was gonna be here.
The filmmakers who wanted to make the documentary on Alienstock. The journalists who wanted to write the article. This guy who clearly had a rehearsed speech ready for anyone with a camera.
The sky, okay, directly goes to Area 51.
Okay.
That's a fact. If people don't believe that, that's because they don't want to face the truth.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, if you don't believe that, listen, it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler. There's aliens inside there. Well, not aliens, but there's living stuff that fall from the ground, okay, and they hide from the general population because they don't want everybody freaking out. And I understand that. But the time has come to release records from the 60s and 70s and the 80s.
Okay.
Especially the ones that Bob Lazar was talking about.
I think it's an act.
I 100% think it's an act. 100%.
It's definitely an act. It's definitely an act.
He may believe some of it, but he's amping it up for the cameras.
No, he's doing it to promote.
Yeah.
That's good for
He
you.
wants to be a meme.
He can, dude, good. You can just edit it. He told me his company sent him out here to do it for promotion for his company.
Yeah, he's getting paid to be here.
Yeah.
These TikTokers who wanted to get off TikTok.
12:30, we're gonna get everyone. We're gonna storm our car. We're gonna storm it. We're gonna do a practice storm. That way, when we storm Area 51 for real, we'll be pros.
Interview. Do you believe in aliens?
I think that our universe is too vast, and we've explored too little of it for us to be the only intelligent life form out there.
That's smart. Dude, everyone here is too smart. Everyone here is too smart. Nobody believes in aliens here. It sucks.
All the things that we film for TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Oh, you guys are TikTokers.
Yeah, I hate TikTok, but we get paid for it, so it's...
There you go.
Saying that. We get paid for it. I like it.
It's my least
I'm
favorite
glad that they
social
pay
media
me.
platform.
Even me, who wanted to document this for YouTube because I thought this would be another TanaCon. At one point, Connie was in front of the inn talking to a crew from the Travel Channel for something with the UFO Bros. She was letting them know she wasn't going to sign any release forms without her attorney reading it first.
That was it. I'm not talking to anybody.
I don't care if you shoot, but you got to get a hold of my attorney in order to deal with that because of everything going on right now.
Sure.
I hope everybody understands.
We found more people. So again, we got Elixir, and then we've got Plain Rock Vlogs out here as well. More YouTubers. Lots of media again.
Rain clouds and desert landscape made for a very beautiful sunset, and then it was time for musical festivities. But not before I filmed Elixir and Plain Rock Naruto running out of a row of aesthetic porta potties. The festival officially kicked off at 8 p.m. with a band performing who did 4 encores. It was too dark for me to get a good shot of the crowd, but there were never more than 50 people in front of the stage. Here's me showing how far away the stage was from that collection of porta potties. Then the comedian came on.
Where the ladies at?
Not here!
Alright, there's like 8.
Sausage Fest 2019!
Where the fellas at? Oh no!
I'm doomed.
Who's trying to get abducted tonight?
Ain't no pro! Ain't no pro!
Who's a rapist?
We all are!
A lot of people say I look like a 70s cop, you know? A lot of people say I look like a rapist. And I gotta tell you, kind of makes me want to rape a cop.
He improvised a song called Alien Butt Sex. I would have stuck around longer, but his next song title included the words dog and peanut butter, and I figured I wasn't the target audience. Then people kind of putted around for a while, and then started making their way to the gates. No, I did not go, my car is a piece of crap, and breaking down on a government road doesn't seem like a fun time. The next morning, I woke up, brushed my teeth, and headed towards the inn. Some more people had arrived, but it was still fairly sparse. The inn opened their restaurant for a few hours for short stacks and coffee. I got coffee and an alien, and talked to some more people. They have microwaves that make you feel like you're gonna catch on fire?
Well, it's just an active denial system.
Oh, okay. Because some people went by, is it by the gate or inside the gate?
You won't see it until it's too late.
Oh, okay.
You won't see anything, you'll just feel it.
Okay.
You'll feel like somebody poured kerosene all over you and lit it on fire.
Do you know is that at all the gates?
It's just strategic locations. I don't even know exactly where.
Alrighty, so daytime view of the arena area essentially. So we got back there, we've got the first aid station, we've got all the vendors, there's an axe throwing section over there apparently, the huge giant wall of porta potties, supposedly the purple ones are the ones that are brand new. There's another stage on that truck over there, and then we've got the main stage, the sound booth, and then a bunch of news vans and stuff are piled up over there. I walked around the grounds a lot, people watching. I bought a beer even though I don't drink because I wanted the cool alien can. I filmed a Naruto race.
The winner of our first Naruto race will receive one LED Bluetooth Frisbee.
No, they're just asking.
Runners, on your marks, get set, go! Look at him go! Oh, look at him go! He's out in front! The guy! Oh, look at that! A come from behind victory, almost a photo finish. Quite amazing.
At some point on night one, Zader the alien was removed from their spot in front of the little alien. They played music constantly, but the performance times kept getting pushed back, so I really didn't see anyone perform day 2. I wanted to get to Heiko for the first day of Area 51 Basecamp, and I thought I was already missing a lot of it, so I climbed into my car and headed back down the extraterrestrial highway towards the Alien Research Center. I got there around 3. By that point, the event was supposed to have been well underway, and yet it looked like they hadn't started letting people in yet. They had. There was just no one there. What I thought was the line to get in turned out to be the line for the gift shop. When I told people I had a ticket and that it cost $51, they all told me they didn't know they had to pay and weren't going to be going to the main event. I went to scan my ticket and they gave me a new ticket that showed I had pre-purchased and that got me 2 waters, a $10 voucher that I used on an $8 corn dog, math is fun, and a special holographic ticket. In comparison to Alienstock, Basecamp was cramped. Even then, it wasn't crowded. Like Alienstock had been night 1, if you took away the media, there was maybe a max of 30 people there. Overall, the production value was much higher than Alienstock. I was told by some of the vendors that the owners of the center hired a production company to put on the event. I didn't film many of my conversations with the vendors or ufologists at Basecamp. A lot seemed rather put off by the large media presence at the event. One person thanked me for talking to them instead of shoving my camera into their face and walking away. Everyone was very nice and I got invited to come check out a UFO convention in San Francisco next February. Something I found interesting was that despite the large media presence at both Alienstock and Basecamp, there seemed to be a lot of misinformation going around. Some people at Basecamp thought only 75 people showed up at Alienstock, when that was the number estimated that went to the gate for the raid. Some people even tried to convince me Alienstock was cancelled even when I told them I had just come from there and there were over 15,000 people. When I was at Alienstock, many people had no idea the research center was even having an event. Basecamp kept playing music, but there wasn't any performances or speakers until later when Jeremy Corbell presented the rapper Sawana, and then his documentary on Bob Lazar.
Hey, Area 51 Basecamp, hello! Alright, this is Area 51 Basecamp at the Alien Research Center. This is like the first of a big thing, and you are here. Yeah! You are. I got to do a UFO sermon real quick. Everybody knows about Area 51, right? Yeah! Alright. How do you know about Area 51? Bob Lazar! Oh, we have an educated audience. Alright.
What's up? How we doing? Yeah! Alright, I'm Sawana. I'm gonna sing some songs for you guys. I'm up casting spells. Hell yeah, it's the witching hour.
I don't want to be copyright claimed, so here's a clip I got of Jeremy Corbell acting like a pajamam for Sawana. She performed 2 songs before she was supposed to perform her rap about Bob Lazar, but there was an issue with the audio, so they went to playing the documentary. That's when I took it as my cue to start out on the hour-and-a-half drive back to my hotel. Saturday morning, I made the drive back to Rachel as the Basecamp events weren't supposed to start till 1. The crowds had thinned significantly since I left the day before, but I was told by several people that there was a total of around 3,000 that night. I had 3 main goals for this weekend: have someone tell me their abduction story, find a cult, and not get shot. I wasn't shot, and Saturday I found Unicult, whose leader, Unicol Unicron, was running a meditation to connect with aliens.
Today we're going to be using our energy to connect to aliens and just begin breathing deeply and relaxing your body. Relax your spine. Relax your legs. Relax your arms. Relax your face.
Like I said, he was everywhere. Again, music kept getting pushed back. One of the organizers told me a DJ was coming to perform with a laser show at dark. About 11 a.m. is when I checked my email and saw that I had a notification from Ticketmaster telling me Area 51 Basecamp Day 2 was cancelled and that my ticket would be refunded. I found someone who I had seen at the event the day before, and they told me my initial assessment was right. Attendance was abysmal. No one wanted to spend $51 on a one-day event. They also seemed put off by the fact that none of the other speakers or artists got to go on before showing the documentary. I recognized a few of the vendors from Basecamp at Alienstock. Some bought vendor spots and set up their booths in Rachel. One just popped his trunk on public land and made a go of it. Remember how I said I saw too much of him? Well, when I was walking back towards the inn, I saw him speaking to a group of people. He saw me, pointed, and said, "She said she's not a journalist, but she has all the questions." And I'm not a journalist. I'm a barista with a DSLR. He then decided he could lift me up by his forearm. I said I was good not to try that and kept walking. Turned around to him getting buck-ass naked for the group of people. I took these photos as he was getting his pants back on. I had been tweeting updates about both events all weekend. One of the vendors I had spoken to at Basecamp let me know the event was still open. They'd called in an Arby's truck that was handing out free food, and they had waived the price of admission. I hung around Alienstock for a bit longer. They'd gotten rid of the EDM stage and added the speakers to the main stage, but didn't play music for most of the day. Connie announced that they were going to do Alienstock 2020, and I saw one last band perform. The frontman asked us to hold on while he quickly restrung his guitar. He almost immediately cut his hand on one of the strings and used his long-lost shirt to try and stop the bleeding. I said goodbye to the little alien and Alienstock and headed back towards Basecamp. Got there about 4 p.m. By then, the Arby's truck had cleared out, and with it, most of the day's attendance. I went to the gift shop to buy my uncle a keychain where I met the owner. He seemed a bit put off by me saying I had come from Alienstock and that they had another night planned, and that they got about 3,000 total attendees at their peak. He told me Basecamp had a total of around 650 people show up all weekend. Security was gone, most of the vendors had cleared out, either going to Alienstock or cutting their losses and heading home. I was told by some there was no talk of them getting their vendors' fees back. Some vendors who I spoke to said that the Arby's truck being called in and making attendance free really helped. Some reported more sales before noon on Saturday than all of Friday. Not everyone was so lucky though. When they were told the event was essentially cancelled, most of the food trucks left the night before, except for West Coast Burritos. They were hopeful that being the only food truck would help sales. However, when Arby's was called in and started giving out free food, no one bought from them. They are a new company, only a few months old. They were told to expect upwards of 9,000 attendees, and they planned accordingly. Excess printed shirts can be put in storage. Food can't. This wasn't just a loss for them, it could be detrimental to their business. I stayed for a few hours. I was told the vendors were gonna have a big blowout party and I wanted to stay for that, but I knew I had to embark on my 5-hour drive back to Orange County. So what happened? How did the event in a town of 53 in the middle of the desert end up being more successful than the event that hired a production company and featured Jeremy Corbell and Paul Oakenfield? My guess? Marketing. Everyone and their mothers knew about the original meme by Matty Roberts, followed by a flurry of interest for Alienstock, the event he was planning in Rachel with Connie. His departure was even more heard about. He went out of his way to claim that the original Alienstock was cancelled, and frankly, the little alien didn't help this. Barely any marketing or information was put up to suggest otherwise, aside from leaving up the announcement on the inn's website. However, Alienstock had something going for it: solidarity. More people wanted to support Connie because Maddie had stiffed her and allegedly ran off with her sponsor and some musical acts. And even then, there were still people who believed it was cancelled even while it was happening. Alienstock was never going to be 50,000 people its first year. It's easy for someone to hit a button on a Facebook page. It's harder to spend the time and money getting to Rachel. But it might have been close had more marketing been done after Maddie pulled out. Despite all my research into Alienstock and Area 51, leading up to September 20th, I never heard about Area 51 base camp. It wasn't until my uncle, understandably concerned for my safety traveling the desert alone, made me listen to a coast-to-coast broadcast where they talked about the meme and the events, and I knew there was another event, and I bought my tickets. Most of the marketing seems to have been through Facebook, which is at one point filled with comments complaining about the price, and a couple tweets from Jeremy Corbell. Even after the event was unofficially canceled and attendance was made free, nothing seemed to have been done to make that clear on social media. I got the email saying it was canceled and then was told by a vendor it wasn't. So lack of marketing was a major problem. The other one, the cattiness of their marketing. A good deal of their marketing had to do with them being the better of the two events happening off of Highway 375. Posts alluding to Alienstock being canceled were made to say they were still a go. Corbell tried to distance the event from Maddie by saying the storm phenomenon started with his doc on Bob Lazar. Even while I was there, the element of we are better was present while I was standing among 12 attendees while Corbell talked to us about no longer being the weird uncles. On many accounts, yes, Basecamp was the better put together event, but that's useless if no one shows up. No attendee wants to feel like they were picking a side in a debate if they go to one event over another. Where both events could have benefited is if they united over the fact that no one was happy with Matty Roberts and how his actions affected Lincoln County. Basecamp had Jeremy Corbell and numerous ufologists and researchers. Alienstock had more space and musical performances that eventually did all perform. They could have made it a two-stop event. See the research center and check out researchers and talk about aliens, then head out to Rachel to camp out and party. Now, this is just my opinion. I just don't think the us versus them mentality ever works well. All in all, I had a good time. I met a lot of interesting people, got a lot of miles in my car, and got some good stories to whip out at parties I'm never invited to. Both events say they will be trying again in 2020. See you there. I'll be the short brunette with the camera wearing too much sunscreen.